Have you ever wished you could read someone's mind? Imagine knowing what someone is thinking before they say a word. This may sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's a skill we can all develop. It's about tapping into the power of nonverbal communication. By paying attention to subtle cues like eye movements, facial expressions, and body language, we can gain a deeper understanding of those around us. This ancient wisdom has been passed down for centuries, and it's just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. There's a famous story about the Buddha that perfectly illustrates the power of observation and the importance of perception. One day, Buddha was approached by a blind man who had heard of his great wisdom and teachings. The man had heard many things about Buddha's wisdom and wanted to experience it firsthand, hoping to gain some insight into his own life. Buddha, sensing the man's sincerity and genuine curiosity, decided to teach him a valuable lesson that he would never forget. He asked the man to describe an elephant that was standing nearby, knowing that the man had never seen one before. The blind man, unable to see the elephant, relied on his other senses, particularly his sense of touch, to understand what was in front of him. He touched the elephant's trunk and said, "An elephant is like a thick snake," feeling the long, flexible trunk. He then felt the elephant's leg and exclaimed, "No, an elephant is like a tree trunk," marveling at the sturdy, rough texture. Buddha smiled and explained that both descriptions were partially correct but incomplete, highlighting the limitations of partial understanding. He emphasized the importance of looking at the whole picture, not just isolated parts, to truly grasp the essence of any situation. This story teaches us that true understanding comes from observing the entirety of a situation, not just focusing on individual elements. It reminds us to broaden our perspective and consider all aspects before forming conclusions. Our eyes are said to be the windows to our soul, and for good reason. They often reveal what we're thinking and feeling, even when our words say otherwise. For example, someone who avoids eye contact might be feeling nervous, shy, or even trying to hide something. On the other hand, someone who maintains steady eye contact is likely confident, engaged, and trustworthy. Pay attention to pupil size as well. Dilated pupils can indicate interest, excitement, or attraction. Constricted pupils, on the other hand, might signal anger, fear, or disgust. By carefully observing these subtle cues, we can gain valuable insights into a person's emotional state and intentions. Our faces are incredibly expressive, capable of conveying a wide range of emotions in an instant. Think about how easily you can recognize a genuine smile from a fake one, or how a furrowed brow instantly signals frustration or confusion. While some facial expressions are universal, others can be influenced by cultural norms. It's important to be mindful of these differences to avoid misinterpretations. For example, in some cultures, averting one's gaze is a sign of respect, while in others it might be perceived as rude. Similarly, a raised eyebrow can signify surprise or skepticism, depending on the context. By familiarizing ourselves with these nuances, we can become more adept at accurately reading facial expressions. Section 5. Body language whispers the unspoken truth. Body language is a powerful form of nonverbal communication that often speaks volumes about our thoughts and feelings. It is an unspoken language that we all use, whether we realize it or not. From the way we stand and sit to the gestures we use, our bodies are constantly sending out signals. These signals can reveal our true emotions and intentions, even when our words do not. For instance, someone who crosses their arms might be feeling defensive, closed off, or insecure. This simple gesture can speak volumes about their current state of mind. Conversely, someone who leans in while you're talking is likely engaged, interested, and eager to hear more. This action shows they are actively listening and valuing what you have to say. Pay attention to the way people position themselves in relation to others. Their physical proximity can tell you a lot about their feelings and intentions. Standing close to someone can indicate intimacy or aggression depending on the context. The context of the situation is crucial in interpreting these signals accurately. Maintaining a comfortable distance, on the other hand, usually suggests respect and attentiveness. It shows that the person is considerate of personal space and boundaries. By learning to read these subtle cues, we can gain a deeper understanding of how others are feeling and responding to us. This skill can enhance our communication and improve our relationships. both personally and professionally. Section 6. Gestures and postures. Deciphering the body's silent cues. Gestures and postures provide further clues into a person's thoughts and emotions. These non-verbal signals can often speak louder than words, revealing what someone might be feeling or thinking without them having to say a single word. For example, fidgeting or tapping one's foot can be a sign of nervousness, boredom, or impatience. These small, seemingly insignificant actions can actually tell us a lot about a person's inner state. Similarly, playing with one's hair or touching one's face might indicate anxiety, self-consciousness, or a desire to soothe oneself. These gestures can be a way for individuals to comfort themselves when they are feeling uneasy or stressed. When it comes to posture, standing tall with shoulders back conveys confidence and assertiveness. This kind of body language can make a strong impression in social and professional settings, signaling that the person is self-assured and in control. Slouching, on the other hand, might suggest insecurity, sadness, or fatigue. This posture can indicate that someone is feeling down or lacking in energy, and it can affect how others perceive them. By observing these subtle movements and postures, we can gain valuable insights into a person's emotional state and how they're feeling about the situation at hand. Paying attention to these cues can enhance our understanding and improve our communication with others. Remember, these cues are often subconscious, meaning the person displaying them may not even be aware of what they're communicating non-verbally. Being mindful of these signals can help us respond more empathetically and effectively in our interactions. Section 7. The power of observation, connecting the dots. To truly master the art of reading people, it's essential to connect the dots between different non-verbal cues. A single gesture or expression might not tell the whole story, but when combined with other signals, it can provide valuable insights. For example, someone who avoids eye contact, fidgets with their hands, and avoids direct questions might be feeling anxious, deceptive, or uncomfortable with the topic at hand. On the other hand, someone who maintains eye contact, smiles genuinely, and leans in while you're talking is likely engaged, interested, and enjoying the conversation. By paying attention to the bigger picture and considering all the non-verbal cues together, we can develop a more accurate understanding of what others are thinking and feeling. Section 8. Beyond words. The significance of nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication plays a crucial role in our daily interactions and relationships. It helps us build rapport, establish trust, and navigate social situations effectively. By becoming more attuned to these subtle cues, we can enhance our communication skills and develop stronger, more meaningful connections with those around us. Understanding nonverbal communication is particularly important in professional settings. It can help us build rapport with clients, negotiate effectively, and present ourselves with confidence and authenticity. In our personal lives, it allows us to deepen our relationships, resolve conflicts more effectively, and create a more harmonious and fulfilling social environment. Section 9. Cultivating empathy, stepping into another's shoes. Mastering the art of reading people isn't just about deciphering their thoughts and emotions, it's also about cultivating empathy and understanding. When we can accurately interpret nonverbal cues, we gain a deeper understanding of the other person's perspective. This allows us to respond with greater sensitivity, compassion, and effectiveness. Imagine, for example, that you're talking to a friend who's going through a difficult time. By paying attention to their body language and facial expressions, you might pick up on subtle signs of sadness, anxiety, or exhaustion. This awareness allows you to offer support, encouragement, and a listening ear in a way that feels genuine and heartfelt. Section 10. Ethical considerations, using your powers wisely. With great power comes great responsibility. While the ability to read people can be incredibly valuable, it's important to use this skill ethically and responsibly. Avoid using your knowledge to manipulate, deceive, or take advantage of others. Instead, focus on using your understanding to build stronger relationships, communicate more effectively, and create a more positive and compassionate world. Remember, nonverbal communication is just one piece of the puzzle. It's essential to consider the context, the individual's personality, and other factors before drawing any definitive conclusions about their thoughts or intentions. Use your powers for good and always prioritize respect, empathy, and understanding in your interactions with others. Section 11. Mastering the art practice makes perfect. Like any skill, mastering the art of reading people takes time, practice, and patience. Start by paying closer attention to the non-verbal cues of those around you. Observe their facial expressions, eye movements, and body language. Try to identify patterns and connect the dots between different signals. As you become more attuned to these subtle cues, you'll find yourself better equipped to understand the unspoken messages people are sending. Remember, the journey to becoming a master people reader is an ongoing one. The more you practice, the more skilled and insightful you'll become at deciphering the silent language of human interaction.